You drift out of sleep with a warm, contented smile on your face and a sense of optimistic anticipation about the day ahead. You're a scuba diving instructor. You live on a tropical island somewhere in Southeast Asia, and you spend your days taking beautiful people out on boats to see sharks, dolphins, turtles, manta rays, and all kinds of other exotic sea creatures. Then after work, you spend your evening sipping cocktails on the beach and talking to other like-minded people about just how good your life out here is. But then your smile begins to fade along with your dream as reality starts to kick in. With a growing sense of panic, you realize that none of this is real. You start to remember that you're not a diving instructor at all and never have been. You've never been to Southeast Asia, and you don't even know how to dive. Well, welcome back to the real world, buddy, where you're an elementary school teacher and you hate your life. The jarring sound of your alarm starts up, obliterating the last remnants of your dream. Your arm reaches out mechanically from under the warm covers into the cold air to hit that off button. You reluctantly swing yourself round to a sitting position and rub your eyes. A small groan escapes your mouth. You close your eyes, putting off the inevitable just for a few more moments. And then, another day in your life as an elementary teacher begins. You eat your cereal, you drink your black, bitter coffee, and you try not to think about the hell on earth populated by 6- and 7-year-old devils you're about to enter. Okay, time to get dressed. Look at these clothes. In a previous life, you used to have good dress sense. You even used to take pride in your appearance. But extravagances like having nice clothing were beaten out of you by your diminutive charges before the end of the first semester of your first year on the job. Now you just look plain. Your clothes are practical, unremarkable, your hair's pragmatic, your face looks haunted, expressionless, and gaunt. In fact, you do look just like an elementary teacher is supposed to look. The shell of a human being with a vacant stare and a broken spirit, and with absolutely no hope of salvation. You take another sip of coffee, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. It's Monday morning. 5 days of screaming, fighting kids to survive until the next weekend, when you can curl up into a ball in the dark for 2 more short days of respite. You exhale and open your eyes. You've got this. You've got this. Actually, you've got no choice. You're in the classroom, you can hear the kids outside, and a bell is about to ring to signal the start of the day's first class. 5 minutes to go. You look at the hands on the clock and you will them to move more slowly. The bell rings. You screw up your eyes and inhale deeply, holding your breath for a few moments. Then, you flick an internal switch and you put on your happy, smiley teacher's face. You're ready. Let's go. Let's do this. The kids file into the classroom. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, Tommy. How are you?
I'm good, teacher. How are you?
Rachel, slowly please. Jimmy, don't pull Claire's hair. Jack, Ronnie, don't push. And speak more quietly, please. The kids eventually all find their seats and you take the roll call. Done. First up this morning is English. So you need to work on teaching them to read and write. You start by talking about the weekend that's just gone, and then you set them an activity to write down a few of the things they did. Okay, so far so good. But Lisa, why are you crying? Turns out her dog died over the weekend and her family spent Sunday afternoon burying it. Great. Okay, Lisa, you don't want to write about that? Right then. What about a different weekend? A happy one? Maybe write about a happy weekend with your dog before it died. You can do that? Okay, good. Do that then. Next, math. Simple arithmetic. Basic times tables. Learning to tell the time. Nothing too demanding, and yet some of them already seem to have found their level. How can it be that difficult? Some of these kids are going to seriously struggle later in life. Johnny, why are you crying? Oh, you wet yourself. Why didn't you say you needed to go to the bathroom? Fantastic. Just what you needed. You've heard the expression first world problems, right? Well, your life is all about first grade problems. Kids fighting, kids crying, kids wetting themselves at an age when this already shouldn't be a thing. You hate your life. Next, science class. For this one, you're teaching them a bit about biology and you've brought in some bugs and creepy crawlies for them to see. You thought this would be a good idea. And you were looking forward to it. The kind of interactive class that's sure to inspire the next generation of biologists. But no, you didn't think it through properly, and of course, it's a disaster. You place a tray on each table and you tip some of the bugs into each one for the kids to look at. Then you walk around supervising each table as the kids discover the creepy crawlies you brought in for them to see. It's okay, Ron, you can let him crawl on your hand. Jane, what happened? No, I'm sure the beetle didn't bite you. Janine, please don't squish the insects. Ew! What happened? He did what? He ate the worm? This is your reward for trying to be creative and for trying to fire up your kids' imaginations. Okay, we won't be doing that activity again. Books. Just books. Books are safe. They won't try eating books. At least that's what we think. Lunchtime and you're in the cafeteria. The kids are all outside playing, but now you're surrounded by other teachers. The conversation around you is unbelievable.
Little Leia is so amazing. You'll never believe what she wrote in our class today.
Little Mike was so cute today in class. He was just so adorable when he...
Joanna's so smart. We just started doing long multiplication and she understood it first time.
I can't wait to let little Fiona's parents know about how she...
What's wrong with these people? How can this be real?
You're probably thinking, surely you're living in a simulation and these are fake teachers placed there to test you, right? This is not normal. This is not what normal people talk about. Everyone else seems to have a perfect classroom full of perfect little robots who do everything their teacher asks. So, why are all your kids so hopeless and evil? Why do you have all the kids who can't read, can't count, can't go to the bathroom by themselves, and who eat the bugs during class? What do normal people talk about on their break anyway? Not this. How did these people become like this? Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you should be like the others. Okay, let's try this. Try harder. Just keep smiling and keep talking. Stay positive. Keep pretending. I brought bugs in today for the kids to play with. You should have seen their happy faces when they saw what I'd brought. Parents' evening. So now you have to meet the parents and tell them all about how their demon offspring are performing at school. Every single parent seems to think that their kid is some kind of genius. They expect their child to be at the top of the class and they can't understand why this is not the case. But you can't be honest with them. No, unfortunately, you can't tell them directly that young Polly just isn't that bright, or that young Charles seems to be more interested in the contents of his nose than the contents of his textbook. You have to break it to them gently. So basically, you have to lie. And then there are those that blame you. Sure, their kid never does any homework. Sure, their kid spends the whole day gazing out the window, flicking bits of paper around the room, poking other kids with a pencil, and doing just about everything else they can think of, except listening to the teacher. But yet somehow, it's still your fault that said child is now almost 7 and still can't read properly or do basic addition or subtraction. I think Richie is doing okay in English class, but he has some room to improve in math.
Why? What's the problem?
Well, he still hasn't mastered the 2, 5, or 10 times tables yet, and those are the only ones we've done.
Oh, that. But that's not important. I've never learned the times tables properly, and it didn't hurt me. We all have calculators on our phones now anyway, don't we? What's the point in learning all this stuff the old-fashioned way?
Yes, but he still needs to learn it, and his basic arithmetic. Adding, subtraction, multiplication. He's getting a little behind his classmates already. Do you make sure he does his homework every night? Because sometimes it doesn't seem like he's done it.
Oh no, I don't check up. He tells me he does it, and I believe him. Anyway, he's a smart kid. I'm not too worried about any of that. I'm sure he'll be fine.
So what can you do when this is what you're dealing with? No, he won't be fine. He's not a smart kid. He's average at best, and he needs to study. But when you're up against parents like this, there's no hope. There's absolutely no hope. So you just smile and you nod. It's 8 p.m., you're not being paid extra to be here talking to parents like this, and you know you can't win. So, you just let it flow over you because this is your life. Overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. How did this become you? Then, there's the staff meeting. The principal is speaking. More hours, lower budget, more responsibilities, less time. You've heard it all before, so you just zone out. There's no pay raise. There's no prospects of advancement. At least convicts in prison have the prospect of parole to look forward to. Your sentence, good teacher, is eternal. Finally, it's Friday night. You're out with your friends, and one of them is just back from a business trip abroad and is talking all about the way she was given the VIP treatment by a prospective client out there. Another one is talking about sales numbers and the possibility of an upcoming promotion. Promotions, networking, foreign travel, life. Your turn. What do you have to talk about? How you had to separate two kids today because they were fighting over a candy bar? How one of the kids in your class bit you on the hand because you shouted at her for talking for the 10th time that morning? How her parents then came to the school and you had to explain what happened in front of the principal like you were the one who'd done something wrong instead of the unruly little brat who bit you? Inner peace, teacher. Inner peace. You keep quiet and sip your drink. You have nothing to add to the conversation because most of the people you spent your week with are no more than 3 feet tall. Your social skills have long since dried up and all you want to do is get out of here and go home. It's moments like this that make you think, what did you do in your previous life to merit coming back as an elementary school teacher in this one? Must have been something truly awful. Oh well, you probably deserved it, so you might as well just suck it up. At least next time, you might come back as something a little bit better. Something like an earthworm, or maybe a frog.